The counter system, a parallel operating system for housing abundance. If the housing crisis was built through systems that slow, restrict, and extract, then any solution capable of reversing it must operate with the opposite logic. It must move faster than scarcity compounds, open pathways where access is denied, and preserve knowledge where complexity is used to exclude. This is not a matter of invention. The tools already exist. What has been missing is coordination, the alignment of design, policy, and technology into a single operating system capable of delivering housing at scale without collapsing back into extraction. That operating system is built around three constraints: speed, permission, and knowledge. But its function is not only to accelerate housing, its deeper purpose is to redistribute the ability to produce it. If you want abundance, you must solve speed. In housing, delay is not neutral. Delay is selection. It determines who gets to build, who gets filtered out, and who is forced to sell, wait, or give up. Each month of delay inflates costs, raises risk, and concentrates advantage among incumbents. In the legacy system, time is a weapon. Projects stall, land values rise, and new entrants are priced out before construction even begins. Housing is not slow because homes are inherently too complex to build. It is slow because approvals, coordination, and uncertainty are complex. When every project is treated as a bespoke exception, timelines reset, carrying costs rise, and inefficiency compounds. Scarcity does not simply persist under these conditions, it deepens. A system capable of producing abundance must make speed structural. Housing production must become predictable, compressible, and repeatable. Time to delivery must shrink faster than scarcity can inflate prices. Progress cannot rely on heroic effort. It has to be embedded in the system itself. That means shifting work into controlled environments, standardizing components and approvals, and building around modest, human-scale housing types that can multiply across neighborhoods without extraordinary friction. In the legacy system, friction is not an unfortunate side effect. It is one of the mechanisms through which scarcity is maintained. In a counter system, design stops being an aesthetic exercise and becomes leverage. Abundance becomes feasible because production begins to outrun speculation. In practice, that means housing appears not only in megaprojects, but everywhere the old system taught us not to look: in oversized backyards, on underused lots, along forgotten edges, through small parcels and small actors multiplied at scale. If you want access, you must solve permission. The housing shortage is not caused by a lack of legal pathways to build. It is caused by their opacity. Rights exist on paper, but they are fragmented and inconsistently applied. For anyone without professional navigation, political leverage, or the capital to endure delay, they remain effectively out of reach. Complexity functions as a gate. Those who can afford time and expertise pass through. Everyone else is filtered out. Permission, in practice, is rationed. A counter system treats policy differently. Development pathways must be legible to non-experts. Rules must function as sequences, not obstacles. Homeowners, residents, cooperatives, and neighborhood-scale builders must be able to enter without extraordinary capital or institutional backing. This requires alignment early, not negotiation late. By right approvals and state housing laws must be sequenced intentionally. For-rent and for-sale strategies must be resolved at the schematic phase, so design, entitlement, and financing move together instead of colliding downstream. Zoning is not a battlefield to be fought project by project, it is a map. When interpreted systematically, policy stops acting as an obstacle course and becomes an on-ramp. When permission is solved, access expands beyond large developers to residents, cooperatives, and community groups, the very actors the legacy system excludes. A counter system doesn't fight the code, it sequences it. Sequence the code, and you control the outcome. If you want permanence, you must solve knowledge. The legacy housing system forces every project to relearn the same lessons at full price. It does not compound intelligence, it burns it. Housing expertise feels scarce not because it is rare, but because it is hoarded, locked inside professions, jurisdictions, and institutions. The result is predictable. Those who already know how to navigate the system advance, while everyone else is filtered out. A counter system treats knowledge itself as infrastructure. What must persist is not individual expertise, but process. Workflows must improve with use, instead of resetting each time. Lessons must compound, not evaporate. Permanence begins when housing production no longer depends on isolated experts, but on systems that retain and transmit what they learn. This requires standardization without dilution, shared documentation, reusable templates, and digital systems that translate complexity into accessible process. Technology functions not as automation for its own sake, but as collective memory capturing what worked, what failed, and why. When knowledge persists, each home built strengthens the system. Project experience becomes knowledge continuity, and permanence is anchored not in personalities or institutions, but in process. From constraints to an operating system. Individually, each mechanism is an improvement. Solved in isolation, each remains incomplete. Speed without access becomes exclusion. Access without permanence reproduces inequality. Permanence without speed fails to meet the scale of demand. Aligned together, they form a different operating logic entirely. While the legacy housing system rewards delay and concentrates ownership, the counter-system is modular, distributed, and cumulative. It is built for speed, access, and continuity at the same time. This is not theoretical. Modular approvals already exist. ADU laws already exist. SB 9, SB 684, and SB 1123 have already opened new pathways. Digital permitting and AI zoning tools already exist. What has been missing is coordination, the alignment that turns scattered tools into a functioning, repeatable system. Our counter-system is that alignment. It does not overthrow the existing system. It renders it irrelevant by outperforming it, building homes faster than bureaucracy can slow them, turning design into acceleration, policy into a doorway, and technology into collective memory. The real promise of the counter-system is not simply that it builds more homes. It makes housing production ordinary again, legible, repeatable, and within reach of the society that actually needs it. That is how scarcity is replaced with something the legacy system is structurally incapable of producing, a scalable pathway to abundance.